Hello everybody, it's Niklas and welcome to this new video on friction, and on this software friction we are going to see how to introduce. I'm going to introduce this software. So friction software, what is this? It is a very interesting software if you want to work with animation. It is a free software, so if you want to create different type of 2D animation, it is perfect. It is very ergonomic. You can do a lot of things, and this is what we are going to do in this video. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like the content. First link on the description. The complete course friction is available, so if you want to learn this software step by step with a course structure to create 2D animation, it will be on the first link on the description. You will see the model session of the course, what you will be able to learn in this course. Second link on the description, it is a website in link with this YouTube channel. You can discover a lot of software and have some basics on this software in these channels. And second link on the description, it is all the complete courses available to learn all this software. So let's start with friction. So as I explained, it is a very great software to create 2D animation. First, let's take a look about the dashboard. So here you have different tabs on the tab. So you have the file tab to create export document. You have edit option here. You can have also view panels. You have object panels. View panels, you can focus with different view of the panels. On the object, you can use, for example, the position of the different layers. You can also create a group. Here you can edit the path. You have some Boolean operation. You can also convert the element or convert the stroke. Here you have the parameter of the scene, and here it is just some help options. When I go in this area, as you can see, you have a tab, and on this area it is a summary of different basic things that you can do. Totally on the left, you have different tools of conception. So it means you can create a path, you can create rectangle, circles, and add text. When you go on the right here, you can edit the different nodes. So it means the anchor point. Here you have a panels where you can focus on the fill and the stroke option. You can also create gradient on the shape or on the path. Here you can edit also the text options. You have geometry panels to work with the alignment. And just on this area, you have the timeline as well. So the first things to understand, if you want to edit this panel, you don't have a lot of things to do. You can just extend a little bit the panel here, so you can reduce just like this. Something that you can do also is when you go on the view options on this area, here you can find different type of panels, like for example the timeline and more. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to define the parameter of my scene, because by default we have a scene with 0 for the first frame and 300 for the last frame. So it means you can click here on the scene options, and you can change if you need the wide and the height of your scene, and you can change, for example, the duration as well. So you have also the frame per second. If, for example, I want to create an animation with 4 seconds and I define 30 frames per second, how many frames I need? I need 120 frames. 120 frames, because 30 multiplied by 4, I will obtain 120. If, for example, I have only 20 frames per second and I place 120, I will obtain an animation with exactly 6 seconds. So the duration of the animation depends on the frame per second and the number of images. So here you can change with the scene property. You just need to go on this area. You can also as well go on this area scene properties, and you will be able to edit the scene. You can also change the wide and the height of your scene. So after that, you will have different type of tools of conception. So for example, if I want to create rectangles, I can create rectangles on this area. And these rectangles, I can select my rectangles, and on the right, I will have different type of options. Like for example, the stroke, I can deactivate the stroke, I can activate the fill options, flat, and here I can define a color, but if I want a gradient, I will be able to activate also a gradient. Let's just work with, for example, the red color in my color wheel. If I want to center this rectangle, I will be able to do this with center and center here on my scene. So it means if I want to create a background, I can, for example, define some blue color, and I can go right click, center the pivot, and when I press S, I can scale and I will be able to have something like this for my scene. I can also create another rectangle, for example, on this area, and I can go on the stroke option, none, fill options, flat, and I can define a color, like for example, this green color. You have a lot of type of tools that you can use also on this area. So after, what about the animation? For example, I create a circle and I'm going to zoom, create a circle on this area, and I will go on the stroke option, none, fill option, flat, and I will define, for example, the red color. So this circle, I will place this circle here. Something that I can do, it is to go in the timeline. So here we have a timeline. Just on this area, you can extend, reduce the timeline, and you can have the different element of preview here. So what is the aim? The aim is you can also zoom in and zoom out on the timeline when you move the scroll wheel here on this area. So it means I can have my duration 0 to 120, and you can zoom in and zoom out also on your document like this when you just move the scroll wheel. So for example, something that I can do, I have my circles. And what I will be able to do, I can go inside. And inside I will have different properties. The different properties, first, if I go in the transformation panels, I can, for example, go on the translation, and as you can see, you can move with the property. You can also use the scale value, and you can scale also your element like this. But it is for the conception, but also for the animation. So, for example, if I want to move my element, I can activate at 0, the image 0. I can activate the translation. So I just need to activate the keyframes here. And for example, I can go at 40, I can zoom little out here, and at 40, I can move my circle. So I have two options. I can use, for example, this value here, or this value here, or I can just drag and move the circle on another position, for example, here. And I will be able to create this type of animation. If I want to scale, at the same time, I can go at 0, I can activate scale at 0, and I can go, for example, at 40 as well. And on the scale options, I have also some properties here, or I can just press S to scale my circle. And if I just come back to read the animation, you can see this area. And when I go here, I can go at the beginning, and you can play the animation with play from beginning or render preview. The two are going to work, as you can see. Now, for example, I'm at 40. I can go at 60, and at 60, I can come back with, for example, this, and I can press S to scale again. Then I can go at 80. At 80, I can move like this. If I want to change the opacity, I can do also. So it means I can activate a keyframe, for example, at 80. And at 100, I can decrease the opacity at 0. And I can come back at 120. And I can recuperate the opacity at 100 and move my circle, for example, here. So we have created a small animation with 4 seconds. So I can move here, move here, move here, and I have also the transparency at the end. And you can move on this area to repeat. You will be able to move the keyframe, so it means you can change the position of the keyframe. You can also select multiple keyframes with a frame of selection, so you can do a lot of things. All these type of options will depend on what type of layer you have. So it means if you have a rectangle, you can have little bit different things. Every time you will have all the basic transformation, but you can have more options depending on what you choose. So for the rest, it is a very convenient tools because you can do more things. So it means when you go right click, you have different options. You can, for example, duplicate, you can group, you can add different type of effect as well. So it is definitely a convenient tool. So you can add any element. You can also, for example, draw path and add a path. If, for example, I add a path, I'm going to do something like this, for example, just here, and I will go on the right stroke options, flat, and I will increase the stroke. And I will define, for example, some color. And why not to put this here? And I will add, maybe I can put this point on this area, just change this and do maybe something like this, just here. And when you have a path, it is same. You can edit this path. So it means you have a path here, and because this is a path, you have also a pass option. So it means I can go at 0 and I can activate a pass. And for example, I can go at 20 and I can move the pass to generate an animation with a pass. For example, I go at 60 and at 60 I move this point and I move this point, or I can also move the handles. I can go at 100. At 100 I can move this point as well, and move maybe this point. And at 120 I can take this one and I can, for example, reduce here. I can do something like this and something like this. And now let's take a look. You can also edit the pass at your convenience. So definitely you can do a lot of things. It is a very convenient software. So we are going to stop here for this video on friction. If you like, subscribe to this YouTube channel. So we are going to make other videos to see other features of friction. First link on the description, the complete course friction is available. So if you want to learn this software starting from scratch with the course structures, it is on the first link on the description. You will see the models, session of the course, what you will be able to learn. It is a very convenient course, complete course, different hours of training session and different training at the end, like the creation of a puppet, the bouncing ball, and so much more in this training course. Second link on the description, it is the website in link with this YouTube channel. You can discover software in this YouTube channel. And second link on the description, it is a summary of all the graphic courses available. For our next video, see you. Ciao, ciao.